fuck, I can never remember this woman's name.
Rumiko Takahashi.
The one-eyed, one-horned, fuzzy purple penis eater.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow Daniel at DStarSick on Twitter. Follow Ryan at Darth Damio on the Bluebird app. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the horrorofbabylonpodcast@gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. And finally, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podcast Addict, TuneIn and the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to episode 44 of The Horror of Babylon, where we are discussing Mermaid Forest from 2003. I'm Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Say hi, Ev.
Hi.
Okay, so we are going to be at DualCon, which is a convention at the Charleston Convention Center in Charleston, West Virginia on February the 11th, 2023. It is a gaming convention for both tabletop and video games. The convention is for the benefit of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We will be there as guests. We will be running panels, and we will have a booth where you can come and meet the crew and pick up some Horror of Babylon swag. Some other guests that are going to be at the convention that I'm excited about, John Russo, who co-authored the screenplay of The Night of the Living Dead, right there with George A. Romero, right there in movie history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have him sign my copy of Return of the Living Dead.
And also D.R. Crossan, who's a game creator who made a Mothman card game called Mothmam.
I want this game.
You can buy it. There's a link to it on the DualCon website.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
We are reviewing Mermaid Forest from 2003, which is based on the manga Mermaid Saga by Rumiko Takahashi. This anime aired from October to December on TV Tokyo in 2003. It was produced by TMS Entertainment, which is the lovely studio that brings you classics such as Detective Conan, Lupin III, and Hamtaro. Directed by Masaharu Okuwaki, who also directed Mare, Telepathy Girl, Shoujo Ran, Lupin III, Dragon of Doom, and OVAs for series such as City Hunter and Dirty Pair. This adapts every story from the manga except for Mermaid's Gaze, which is the one with the big creepy-ass doll that's not actually a doll. And the final two episodes of the series were not released on TV. They were released direct-to-video because they were allegedly too violent for television, which...
Allegedly.
In comparison to the previous 11 episodes,
yeah.
Yes, definitely, completely agree. And it was released in the United States by Geneon. Going into structure and themes, in terms of story and characters, very, very true to the story and the characters, follows like all the same beats, like almost to the point where you're like using the manga as like storyboards. But the thing that really jumps out about it, it doesn't adapt the horror of the manga. It really tones it. I don't even want to say it tones down the blood and the violence. It almost just like excises it.
You fully on just censors those scenes.
I will say now that the last two episodes are an exception. We will discuss those last two episodes separately. Right now, we're just talking about episodes 1 through 11. So, Daniel, what's your take on the blood and gore, or lack thereof, in Mermaid Forest?
I'm not a fan. To me, if you're going to adapt something, you need to be as true to it as possible. Blood and the viscera of the show is part of showing, like, this is, you know, what it's like being an immortal, to be murdered over and over again, and it's a very bloody and tragic existence. And when you take that out, especially when you replace it with, like, It's like, have you ever seen like really badly censored hentai where it's like just a white bar over shit? It's like
fuzzy penis.
Yeah, it's like
fuzzy
that.
Purple penis.
It's like that, and I'm like,
it's a one-eyed, one-horned, fuzzy purple penis eater.
Except for this, it's like taking away that visceral nature that's in the manga, that it sanitizes everything. It's not a very clean series, and they try to make it so. It just robs it of part of its identity. So I was really distracted by that.
Censorship in anime doesn't bother me as much, for the biggest reason being that I was raised of the Toonami generation, where stuff was edited a lot back then.
We'll send you to another dimension. That's how they used to say kill on Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Now, that being said, this wouldn't have been something we'd seen on Toonami anyway, because of the amount of stuff they would have probably... The entertainment factor probably wouldn't have been as high back then, and they just wouldn't have done it in the first place. What gets me about it isn't the censorship. It's the way they did the censorship. Like, the blood glows for...
It's a hentai censorship.
It's just not good. Like, I don't mind that they censored it.
It's glowing red light.
I don't mind that they censored it or dulled it down. I just don't understand the way they did it. Like, it's just like, let's make it glow. Why? Because it'll be pretty instead of scary.
I agree more with Daniel. It bothers me a lot. However, I do also agree with you that how they did it was bad, and I think it would have been better to just not have any blood at all.
Yeah.
Than this weird glowing light emitting from wounds.
Do something like you'd have to like change the storyboard slightly, but like weird cutaways.
Mm-hmm. Like almost like stage violence.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, I mean, like cutaways essentially is like Yuta goes to hit somebody and then you just see them falling over instead of
imply the violence.
Yeah, imply the violence, like Psycho.
Although Psycho had more blood in it than all of this combined.
That drain though.
Yeah.
It just showed it all going down the drain though. Did you know Hitchcock mostly paid for Psycho by himself?
Yeah.
And he waived his director's fee and took, I think it was 60% of the profits from the film instead of his salary.
Dang.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast about Psycho yesterday because it was its birthday. It was yesterday, I think. Maybe it was 2 days ago.
Missed an opportunity to read the book.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, no, we'll do that. Is poopy, yeah. Jumping into themes, I don't want to rehash like the immortality themes that we've talked about in the previous 3 episodes we've done on Mermaid Saga. So I noticed a different theme in this series that I didn't pick up on in the manga or on either of the OVAs, and maybe this was something I was reaching for. I was just reaching for themes because I was so upset about the toned down violence. But I kind of saw this one as Yuta kind of going through time looking for a partner. The opening song is like a series of animations of Yuta with all the various ladies that he meets.
Yeah.
So.
It's the harem opening.
Yeah, it's the harem opening, and it kind of made me think about like, he meets O-Ren, and for one reason or another, it doesn't work out with her. He meets Natsume, he meets Nai. He goes through all these series of women until he finally meets Mana, and I kind of looked at the story of being, this is like Yuta's life as an immortal, and he has to be an immortal to live for 500 years before he can finally find the person that he's meant to be with. And
I have crossed oceans of time to find you.
I agree with that. I when I read the books, I felt that was kind of the same thing for a lot of it. I think I made a comment at one point where like the book had like an underlying tone to me of like contentment versus settling.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like Yuta for a long time, like his goal is to like find the mermaid and be able to go back to being human, whereas when he meets Mana, it's not that he still doesn't have that goal, but he seems more at peace with where he's at as an immortal because he has somebody to share life with.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits of the manga is like the last 2 pages of each chapter where they're walking off, and it's like the banter that they have as they're walking off onto their next adventure.
What would you do if you couldn't find me?
I would look, and I would look, and I would look forever until I found you. And initially, I got really mad at this anime because it doesn't do that. But what I realized eventually when I let the ending song play through all the way is they have all those scenes. They're just after credit scenes.
Just after credit scenes.
Which made me so damn mad because I had to go back and fast forward through the ending song on all the other ones to see all that shit. I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, but I could picture you doing that.
And it was on like episode 6 that I figured it out, so I was just like, God damn it!
They still had to do it on 5 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, could have been like, you do on episode 12, and you're like, wait a minute.
Or he never realized it and came in here.
They got those ending scenes right. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's bullshit. Bullshit.
We spend the next, however
My
many
kid
minutes
says I
here
didn't get to the
watching them.
fucking end of the episodes.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Okay, so characters, what did you guys think about Yuta and Mana in this series?
Serviceable. I don't think this series made any statements by being more than what it was trying to do. It's also kind of one of the big problems I had with it. I don't feel like it tried to do anything different, encapsulate what the books were about. To me, it felt hollow. That's my biggest thing about it.
The voice acting was better than the last one we watched.
It's just the stories themselves. It was just basic copy-paste.
Yeah, it was. It was very... violence aside, it was super true to the manga, almost to a fault.
If you absolutely refuse to read, you can watch this.
Well, no, see, my partner and my daughter have not read the manga.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea about anything about this anime, so I was like, hey, the manga's really good. I gotta watch this for the podcast. You guys want to watch the first episode with me? And they're both like, this is bad. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I promise you the manga is so much better. And they're like, no, we don't want to read the manga. I'm like, please, I promise you the manga's really good. This is not... I would never...
I mean, maybe they just wouldn't like the manga because this is a pretty straight adaptation.
Yeah, but it's wrapped up in such an unappealing shell.
Yes.
So not just the lack of the violence and the gore, but also really inconsistent key animation. There's some scenes that are just drawn super beautifully, and then it just cuts to 2 popsicle stick characters. They drew the characters and then slapped them on a popsicle stick and then put them against the background and started doing this.
I was expecting so much better animation with this opening, because the opening was actually really sick.
Yeah, I actually really grew to like the opening, and the ending song is okay too.
Yeah, I like the animation of the opening was really solid.
I love the middle, the commercial break transition.
The little interlude in the middle.
Yeah, where it just has the art from the manga, and it's just like...
Yeah.
I wish they would have done a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood thing there and gone, Mermaid Saga.
I don't remember the Brotherhood one.
It's literally...
Did they just say...
They just say Full Metal Alchemist.
And then when it comes back, it says Full Metal Alchemist again. Which is because they used to play it on TV, so that's where the commercial break was.
Nothing will ever top the Yu Yu Hakusho one.
Yeah, I know, that was great.
In terms of some of the other characters, from the various stories, what were some of the standouts?
Oh, what was the pirate chick's name?
Oren. Although they just called her Ren in this one.
There was one scene that I don't know why it cracked me up so much. Yuta's knocked out and she starts slapping the shit out of him to wake him up. And just the way it's animated and the way the voice actress tries to yell at him. I'm like, why is this tickling me pink right now?
Because you're tickly pinkable.
I am easily.
Masato is the standout of the series just because the animation quality just does a huge leap.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, which did not air on TV, 1, the animation quality just goes through the roof, and then 2, they bring... It's like they felt bad about excluding the blood and the violence from the first 11 episodes, so they're like, oh, let's go over the top and make up for it in the last 2.
I'm convinced that when they started, they had a budget number, and they're like, we can't hit this budget number. And then by the time they got through 11 episodes, they're like, we have way too goddamn much budget left. We got to do something about
it's like the CIA.
That explains the animation quality, but why did they just totally flip on the decision of the violence? Because... the last 2 episodes are even more gory than the manga is.
Oh yeah, those last 2 episodes rival those 2 OVAs.
Yeah,
as far as the absolute amp level of some of the stuff, because he has the piano wire tooth, and it still gets me.
Honestly, if I had the rights to this material, I would edit those 2 together and re-release it as its own OVA.
Yeah, it was good enough by itself to do it. I mean, like I said, Masato, to me, is just the standout because the animation quality is it's not close.
Yeah.
So it's less about Masato and more about just Hey, look, good budget.
What is the other half demon from Inuyasha who looks just like Big Eyes?
Junji?
Jinenji, yeah.
Yes.
He,
Okay.
like...
Junji Ito?
No,
That was scary.
every time, all throughout the Big Eyes episodes, I was like, oh my god, it's Jinenji.
Jinenji,
Yeah. Totally looks like Jinenji. And it's like the same, it's like almost the same story where like Kagome is like totally like, oh, he's okay, he's a real guy and he's so nice, and Mana's the same, and like Inuyasha and Yuta are like, I don't know, we gotta fucking kill it.
I don't know what it is with, like...
He's a real boy.
I don't know what it is with anime creators and just wanting to kill giants. Because, like...
I'm all about that.
episode,
Kill all the giants.
What's that episode, Champloo? The second episode?
Except
They
for
have a fucking
Andre.
giant guy, and then they kill him, and dude, it's like, man... No, I'm not gonna say that.
Japanese people are afraid of the tall.
It's just like, if you're above 5'10", you gotta die.
I say kill all the giants except for Fessick.
I don't know who that is.
It's Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant and Princess Bride.
Okay.
Why do you wear a mask?
I was like,
They're very fashionable.
I was like, there's the
They're really quite
princess, there's the pirate, there's the sword guy,
The
there's
bisexual,
the
bisexual pirates.
Inigo Montoya.
You killed my father, prepare to die. Yeah, I remember that.
Kill my father.
It wasn't me, it was the six-fingered man.
My name is Quagmire. You fucked my father. Prepare to die.
First of all, it's his mother now.
I'm sorry.
Kill you all! I'll drive you crazy, and I'll kill you all! I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
So going to scary shit. We've spent a lot of time talking about the lack of blood and violence. So let's talk a little bit about the lost souls.
Lost is a good word for them.
We're purple now.
They call them the deformed ones instead of the lost souls, which I don't have much of a
I love the
comment on.
transformation scenes.
Yeah, where like their eyes go like...
It kind of does like a warp effect. Like they're like, hey, let's do like an MS Paint sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think most of this thing's problem is quite literally just what I imagine to be budgetary / editing problems. Like, that's a lot of this thing's problem. And the deformed ones or the lost souls, I mean, I feel like they're a part of that. Limited animation, limited budget, what have you. Just the whole thing feels it just feels cheap. Honestly.
Right? How much have you had to drink?
2.5.
It's not very much.
Girl.
What the fuck even is that?
It's a bird.
Kiss me, fat boy!
Kiss me, fat boy. Daniel, talk to me about no nudity.
Do you remember my comments about violence?
Yeah.
Okay, replace the word blood with titties.
Okay. So
That's actually very eloquently spoken for as trashy as it is.
you want to cut yourself and spill your titties all over my chest?
No, I just think that there's, like, in the manga, it's very tasteful. It's very... It's like an expression of beauty as opposed to, hey, come jerk off to this.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is the female form.
This is, yeah, it's like this might be like putting it on a pedestal, but it's like looking at a Greek statue. Like, no one's putting that in a jar and jerking off onto it. But you look at them, and
nobody above the age of 13.
There's one Greek statue I can think of that has like some firm thigh grabbing.
Okay.
It gets me going. I can't think of what the statue's called.
I know which one you're talking about.
I'm glad you do. I don't know what it's called though.
I'm in some thigh groups, and it gets posted a lot.
Okay.
But it's the same thing. It's
Talking about the muses from Hercules.
The Disney one?
Girls were thick.
The one was.
But you know, you're cutting out that like beautiful like you don't have to be like the first OVA and add a grope scene, but you are taking away some of the artistry of I can never remember this woman's name.
Rumiko Takahashi.
Yeah,
Get your shit together.
it's made lesser by removing it. So
I disagree.
that's my opinion on nudity.
I disagree on that specific thing.
You fight!
I think this is just one of those series that just
Sucks.
I mean, yeah, like I hate to point that out, but like I was so unenthusiastic about most of this series that even when it did cut stuff out, I just didn't care. I hate that I felt that way when I was watching it, but that's kind of how it was. And honestly, because Takahashi's art is more focused on the female body as an art form rather than it is just having titties and asses in there, I feel like being a TV series or whatever like that, I don't feel like it's actually taken away from by removing some nudity.
They should have had the people who did High School of the Dead do this anime.
No.
So mine's a combination of I don't feel like it was necessary to just have a pair of breasts somewhere, in addition to I was already disappointed. How could they disappoint me more?
I mean, no, it's just it added to my list of disappointments.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree with it, if that makes any sense.
I demand titties for I am a sex addict.
Okay. Even though your point about it was that they're not sexual titties.
Yeah, but I sexualize everything. I sexualize a jar of peanut butter. So
the artist's intention and Daniel's interpretation are two different things.
Yeah, I could separate those.
He's Jim.
You sexualized a jar of peanut butter.
And Jim sexualized an apple pie.
Yeah. I am basically Jim.
You remember when we used to get in the anime club group chat and just troll it with American Pie references for hours?
Did we get blocked from that, or did we like leave it? I don't remember how that worked.
I don't know.
What? Like just now, or
no, 9 years ago.
Oh my God! Are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Kings and Koontz. Me. My king is the last two episodes, and my Koontz is the no violence and the glowing red blood light that emits from wounds.
This ain't that Saiga. You can't glow when you're going at people.
Waiting scar! Blades of blood!
My king and my Koontz are exactly the same as yours.
My king is the awesome harem opening. I loved it.
I like the opening song. I think it's sweet.
And my Koontz is that the after credit scene wasn't Ramna gathering Takahashi characters for an Avengers style group.
Yeah, okay, so she's gonna get Ataru Moroboshi,
Inuyasha,
Godai, that Reen guy. Yeah,
get a little hero team together.
It's pretty sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my Koontz.
Now hold on.
Oh, we had homework, didn't we?
Oh, we got to do. We got to go to ranking. Oh my Jesus!
You broke a computer.
Oh my Jeebus! But it's still recording.
It's because you liked a 9-year-old post.
Just to go back through and like find the algorithm to start that all again.
Okay, Daniel, where are you putting this puppy?
Oh God, what's my list even look like here? Below Mermaid Scar, all the mermaids are clustered together.
I am going to put it pretty far down on my list. It is going to go under Firestarter 2 and above the Stand 2020. It's my new number 14.
I think it lands on kind of a group too. It goes right below Mermaid Scar.
Okie dokie, Smoky Loki.
So below Mermaid Scar, but just above X.
Alright, homework. What would you do with an immortal life?
Who's first? Is it me?
It is now.
Oh, okay. I would not be content simply being immortal. I would go on the search for other superpowers or supernatural things to add to my arsenal.
Would you form a superhero team?
I would form a super team of sorts, yes.
Would you form a supervillain team?
I would like to think we are morally ambiguous. We would work for the Libertarian Party. Against the Simpson Republicans.
In The Simpsons, whenever they actually do this joke quite a bit, but the Republican Party's headquarters is in Springfield, and it's this spooky old haunted house, like on a hill. Like there's a full moon and lightning and a wolf howling, and that's where the Republican Party is.
Isn't Dracula a member in it?
Dracula is a member. Mr. Burns is a member. Krusty is a member. Rainier Wolfheart, which is their parody on Arnold Schwarzenegger, is a member. The rich Texan, the guy's like, yeah, he's a member.
I would live for a couple hundred years, be very sad and very bored because I have no one to be with. I would then become addicted to every possible substance known to man. This would go on for about 10 years until finally I do some incorrigible act that gets me thrown in jail. I would be thrown in jail, and for as long as I'm in jail, that would take me as long to actually recover from my addictions. I would be released out, and that would be my pattern.
Okay. I like how I went overly ambitious and you just made me sad.
I would read all of Uncanny X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man from start to finish.
Well, this is great, every guy.
Okay, so upcoming on the Horror of Babylon, next week we are doing our 1-year anniversary episode, which is going to be us kind of chatting, talking about the podcast and talking about some of the things that we've covered, and we're going to do some silly little awards like Book of the Year, Movie of the Year, and are we going to do negative ones like the worst movie of the year? And
like
sure.
What do they call those?
We can always like the Razzies.
The Razzies, yeah.
Yeah, Waifu of the Year.
Waifu of the Year, Bev?
Yeah, probably.
Probably Bev.
I think we should make topics.
Stand Book 1 Fran is maybe not as good as Bev. Charlie? Probably shouldn't say 5-year-old Charlie's a waifu.
Firestarter 2 Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Be specific.
With Marguerite Moreau.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you're specific over which Charlie. It's like if you say Gohan is a good husbando. You can't say, like, early Dragon Ball Z Gohan.
Yeah. I like,
has to be like,
husbando?
Yeah, husbando is what they call them.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's funny. Who's your husbando?
Like, legitimately? Oh, gosh.
On the podcast or in general?
Kazuma Kuwabara. Well, he's underage, too.
A stalk.
But he's got a sword. And a red pinky string of love.
A mulberry's a tree, and Kuwabara's a man.
What's the anime equivalent of Jason Momoa?
Bob Makihara.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Tagoro. He is my husband.
I don't know, like one of the Armstrongs from Fullmetal Alchemist.
No, it's Bob.
Bob Makihara.
Like the builder.
No, like specifically like Tenjo Tenge manga Bob, where he actually gets fucked. Like
fuck.
Buddy, they fuck, like people fuck all the time in the manga.
Anyone from Baki?
Baki?
The grappler, yeah.
No, Baki.
Oh yeah. He's husband though.
Bob Makihara is the secret powerhouse of that anime.
Astolfo would be a good husbando.
Nice.
Oh, Joseph Joestar, he's a good husbando.
Joseph Joe Blow.
Dio.
Husbando. Dio, like Ronnie Dio?
No, just Dio from JoJo.
Dio?
So.
Okay. Daniel, would you like to introduce the first novel we're going to cover in Season 2 of The Horror of Babylon?
Oh, Clive Barker's The Hellbound Heart. It's fantastic.
Which is adapted in the 1987 film known as Hellraiser.
I love your whispers. And they have a Hellraiser reboot movie coming out, I think it's October 7th.
Yep. Which we will be covering that the last week of November. So we're actually just going to give you guys the first 5 or 6 weeks of Season 2 here. So we're going to do first week of November, we're going to do Clive Barker's The Hellbound Heart. The next week, we're going to cover the first Hellraiser film adaptation. The third week of November, we're going to cover the novella, The Boone Farm.
The
Boone's Farm. No, The Boone's Farm, like the old, the wine beer. The Bone Farm by Dean Koontz.
Feed them to pigs.
Then we're going to cover the new Hellraiser on the last week of November. First week In December, we are going to review Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter by Seth Grahame-Smith, and then we're going to do the garbage movie the next week.
Is it worse than Phantoms?
For me personally, maybe.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm about halfway through the book right now.
I love the book.
I'm about halfway through it. I have not seen the movie, so I'm sure it's gonna be real bad.
It's horrendous. I think the most mad I've ever been at a movie is either that or Cars 2. It's one of the two.
Cars 2.
Oh my god, don't get me started.
He was expecting the character arc that they set up in the previous film to come full circle.
No, it's more about the themes.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, the original Cars movie is about, like, small town values, small businesses, Americana, like, taking a slower pace of life, enjoying and appreciating the little things that you have. And then this Cars 2 is like, look at the cable guy, funny, ha ha. I'm gonna eat this green ice cream. Mater, that's wasabi. I'm gonna eat, oh my god, my mouth is on fire. No, Mater, it's wasabi, it's spicy.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We love you.
Stay tuned for our socials. Thank you for sticking with us through season 1 of The Horror of Babylon. Thank you, Daniel and Hef, for recording.
Donate to our Patreon to get this episode unedited.
And this is the 9th thing that Daniel and I have done tonight.
Yeah.
So we're going to be done for a little bit.
Stay scary, everybody.
Stay scary.
Take care, everybody.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. Follow Daniel at DStarSick on Twitter. Follow Ryan at Darth Damio on the Bluebird app. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. And finally, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podcast Addict, TuneIn and the iHeartRadio app. Stay scary.
Oh, fuck. I can never remember this woman's name.
Rumiko Takahashi.
Fuck, I can never remember this woman's name.
Rumiko Takahashi.